Finding your way, settling down on your mat in your child's pose. All right, forehead down, arms reaching. Starting to lengthen the body, all right, from your hips through the fingertips, lengthening the space. Taking a few deep breaths in, turning that attention inward. All right, noticing how you're breathing. Noticing how the body feels. All right, a few deep, full breaths in, feeling the rib cage expand as you inhale. All right, feel it all contract and release as you exhale. Let's take 2 more big breaths like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Maybe an open mouth exhale. Again, deep breath in through the nose. With an open mouth exhale. Good. From here, walk your hands over to the right edge of your mat. Place that left hand on top of the right. Take your side body stretch. Really reaching through those left fingertips, keeping the elbow lifted away from the ground. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center, walk them over to the left, right hand on top. Again, reaching through the fingertips, the elbow lifts. All right, so you're really reaching, stretching that whole right side of your body. Your hip stays pinned to the heel. Good, and then inhale, let's bring it back through center. We're gonna come up into our tabletop to start. All right, so getting the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. As you inhale, we'll drop the belly to lift the chest, draw the belly down, open the chest, draw the shoulders back. Good, exhale to tuck the chin, round the spine, press the floor away. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, shoulders pull back and down. Good, exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, press the floor away. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, opening up, getting this flexion and extension in the spine. Exhale. And we'll go 1 more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Good, exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. Good, inhale, coming back to your neutral position from here. All right, let's take our right hand behind the head. So our right hand comes behind the head here, our elbows out to the side. As you inhale, I want you to open the chest out to that right side, stacking the shoulders over top of one another as best you can. Try to get the elbows stacked over the shoulders, opening. And then as you exhale, take your right elbow to the left elbow underneath. We'll do 2 more. Inhale to reach, stack the shoulders, stack the elbows. Exhale, take it under. All right, 1 more. Inhale to reach, stacking. Good, exhale, taking it underneath. Good, inhale, bring it back through center, hands down on the floor. We'll do the other side. So the left hand to the back of the head, the elbows out to the side. Try to start with the elbow parallel to the ground. And then as you inhale, twist the chest open. Try to get these shoulders stacked, the elbows stacked over the shoulders as best you can. And then exhale, we'll take the left elbow to the right elbow underneath. Inhale to open back up. So we're twisting through the spine, creating some mobility in the thoracic spine. Exhale, take it back under. And 1 more time. Inhale to open. Good. Exhale, taking it under. And then we'll bring it back to our tabletop from here. Let's tuck the toes under. We'll come into our first downward facing dog. So the hips lift, right? Take some time here. Pedal it out, move around a little, bend the knees. Right? Any free movement that feels good for you. All right, maybe both knees bend, stretching those ankles, those calves. All right, straightening the legs out, drawing the heels to the ground, stretching the hamstrings, lifting the hips, the back stays flat. Good. Let's find some stillness here. We'll take 2 more Good. On your inhale, come high on your toes. We'll shift forward through your high plank. Good, so the shoulders are coming over the wrists, the heels are over the toes, body in a nice straight line. Keep the core engaged. Imagine everything sucking and pulling into your midline. So those elbows are pulling into the center, the core is nice and tight, the rib cage is contracting in. And then let's exhale, take it back to our down dog. We'll take 2 more like this. Inhale high on the toes to shift forward through your high plank. Good, exhale, bring it back to your down dog. And 1 more. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Good, exhale, back to your down dog. Nice, on your inhale, bend through the knees, look to the front, step it forward into your fold. Let's inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Shoulders pull back, the chest is open. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. Let's go through a couple half salutations to start warm the body. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reach it tall. Let's do 1 more just like that. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it back down. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. Good. From here, let's exhale into a twist. Bring your right arm back behind you, left arm forward. Try to keep those hips as squared off to the front as you can, so you're twisting through the core. Notice that right hip pulling forward, left hip pulling back even as you twist. Good. And then inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale, bring that left arm back, right arm forward. Again, the hips stay forward. That left hip's pulling forward. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. Let's exhale to a little back bend. Maybe the arms cactus, shifting the hips forward. Maybe hands go to the lower back. As the hips press forward, the chest still feels like it's lifting here. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Let's inhale to a halfway lift. Good. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Let's step it back into our high plank. All right, again, just pausing, holding here, setting it up, making sure the fingers are spread nice and wide. Turn the inside pits of the elbows to a point forward here so the shoulder blades are pulling into the back. Good. On your exhale, we're going to lower down halfway. Good. And then inhale, come onto the tops of the feet. Draw the chest forward and through for your upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, bring it back to your downward facing. Good. 2 breaths here. We'll go through that 1 more time. Nice deep full breath in and out. Keep the spine long, the hips lifting high. On your inhale, bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, step it forward into your forward fold. You can inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. We can go through those same twists here. As we exhale, bring your right arm back, left arm forward, twisting open. Keep the hips squared off towards the front. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. As you exhale, twist the other way, left arm back, right arm forward. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. As you exhale, we'll go hands to the mat, step it back to that high plank position. All right, lower down through your chaturanga, elbows close to the body. Inhale, upward facing. And then exhale back to your downward facing. Ooh, keep the heels drawing down, the hips nice and high. Nice. Let's inhale the right leg up behind you. And we're going to exhale, step this foot in between the hands. Lower this back knee down. Have some obstacles to get around. Cool. Hips are squared off to the front. We'll bring the hands up, maybe onto that front knee. All right, keeping those hips squared off, maybe on the hips. Or maybe those hands reach up and overhead. So the tailbone stays pointed down to the ground, lower core is engaged as the hips slightly shift forward. Feel that stretch through the muscle here. through that upper part of the left leg, hip flexor area. Good, grab onto the left wrist, reach up and over to the right. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. Let's exhale, another back bend. Open the chest, let the hips shift forward. Inhale, bring it back through center, and then exhale, twist. Bring your right arm back, left arm forward. Maybe the left hand comes to the outside of the right knee for a little extra leverage in your twist. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center, arms come up. As we exhale, half splits. So we're straightening that front leg, allowing that front heel to maybe move a little further away from the back knee. Hands come down to the ground. Let's breathe it out here. Deep, slow, controlled breath. Good. And maybe you play with the positioning of this leg a little bit. You can turn those toes out to the right. You can turn them into your center a little. Notice how that changes the stretch, right? As you turn them out to the right, you might feel a little more on the outside of the leg. As you turn them into center, you feel a little more to the inner leg. Just one more deep breath in, lengthen the spine. Good. As you exhale, that foot will plant down. We're going to bring the hands to the mat. That right foot, I want it to go straight back behind you. So we'll be on our tabletop as the right leg extends back. Toes point down to the ground. The hips stay nice and level. Right? Try to feel your lower core really pull up and in, extending the spine. Right? Engagement of that transverse abdominis, one of the deeper core muscles. Holding here, option to stay here, totally fine. If you can find your balance, taking the left arm straight overhead, the thumb points up, we can hold here in a straight line. Make sure the back leg and your front arm are parallel to the ground. Good, and then you can just hold here or exhale, elbow to knee, crunch it in. And then inhale, extend and reach. Two more, exhale, crunch it in. Hips stay level this whole time. Inhale to reach. One more. Exhale. Crunch. Inhale to reach. Good. Bring that left hand down to the ground. We'll bring that right leg out to the right side and lower it down to the mat. So we'll work through that inner thigh, shifting the hips over to the left, giving a little rock front to back. Nice. Cool, and then pause wherever you feel the greatest stretch. So maybe the hips all the way back to the heels, maybe they're in the center, maybe you're moving towards the front. Everybody will feel a little different. For 3, 2, and 1. Come back through that tabletop. Take it knee under the hip. Tuck the toes under. We'll press up to our downward facing dog. Straighten those legs. Lift the hips high. Let's take our left leg. Reach it up and back. Heel up towards the ceiling. Nice. Toes point down to the ground as you exhale. Step that foot in between the hands. We're going to lower that back knee and slowly come up to our low lunge. Again, your options here. Maybe the hands stay on the thigh. Maybe they stay on the hips, helping to tuck that tailbone under. The hips will stay neutral, sinking the hips forward and down. Or maybe the arms reach overhead. Keeping the hips neutral and squared off towards the front. Core stays engaged, the spine is nice and long. Grab onto your right wrist, reach it up and over to the left. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale, cactus arms, back bend. Let the hips shift forward here. The hips will tilt forward as you take a deeper back bend. And then inhale, bring it back through center, straight spine, and we'll twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Maybe that right hand to the outside of the knee. Leveraging the twist a little deeper. Good. Inhale, bring it back through center. And then we'll exhale to our half splits. So hands will come down to the mat. All right, readjust the feet and the knees as much as you need to. So we're trying to create more space between that front heel and the back knee. Hands coming down towards the mat. Toes point straight up here. Again, maybe you give a little rock to the outside and to the inside with that foot. All right, noticing the difference in the stretch. 2 more big breaths. With your inhale, think about the spine lengthening. As you exhale, maybe the chest draws towards the thigh. Good, and then we can bend back into that front knee. Hands will be down on the mat. Come through your tabletop, but that left leg will then extend straight back behind you. Right, so the toes point straight down. All right, the wrist directly under the shoulders. Try to square the hips off so that left hip's not lifting. You'll really be able to tell if you can point your pinky toe straight down to the ground, keeping the hips level. The inside pits of the elbows will roll forward. Option to take that the right hand reaching straight out overhead, thumb points up. Again, make sure the arm and the leg are parallel to the ground. So don't have them dipping down, but really try to reach them up in line with the body. And then exhale to crunch in underneath, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale to extend. And one more, crunch it in underneath. Inhale to extend. Good, bring that right hand down. The left foot will come off the mat to the left side here. Oh, rocking the hips a little, front to back. All right, noticing the difference in the stretch. Taking note anywhere that feels a little tighter. Cool, and then we'll pause wherever feels the tightest. About 3 breaths, right? And notice that it might be different on this side than it was on the other side. Good, and then we'll bring that knee back underneath into our tabletop position. Let's tuck these toes under, lift up, downward facing dog. All right, so on your inhale, bend through the knees, look to the front of the mat, walk it forward into your fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale to fold. And then inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. We're going to bring the feet close together here. If you can, get the big toes to touch. All right, we're coming into our chair pose. So as we swoop the arms overhead, we're bending into the knees, swoop the arms down, reach up and overhead. Right, so we're sitting, pressing our hips back behind you. This isn't just a bend in the knees here. I see a lot of people just kind of bend the knees. They're trying to do this. I want this hip flexion. So press your hips back behind you as the knees bend. So your weight should be on your heels in your feet, right? The toes should be able to lift off the mat. You should be able to see the toes in front of the knees. The arms will reach. Good. Tuck the tailbone under, the back is flat. The arms reach tall. Energy shooting through your fingertips. Hold here for another 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back to your high plank. Lower down through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale to your downward facing. All right, so let's inhale the right leg up. You can exhale, step it in between the hands. Come up high crescent lunge from here. All 10 toes are pointed forward, back heel is lifted, right? Don't rush into this too much. Square the hips off to the front, maybe hands to the hips. And then notice maybe you need to bend a little deeper into that front knee. So the knee is right over the ankle. If as you bend deep into that knee, your knee is coming forward over your toes, then I want you to widen out your stance a little more. All right, so if it looks more like this and the knee is over the toes, move that foot out a little further. Arms can come up and overhead, back leg straight, hips are square to the front, sink deeper into it. Take a nice deep breath in. Good, as we exhale, twist, bring your right arm back, left arm forward. Maybe the hands reach in opposite directions this time, twisting, squeezing through the core, wringing it out here. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. And let's go into our warrior 2. Turn that back heel down. The arms will be reaching parallel to the ground. So the goal here is to get the hips and the chest both squared off to the side. So the chest is going to be a little easier to get there, but make sure the shoulders and arms are in a straight line. And then think about shifting the hips so that if you had headlights on the 2 points of your hip, they'd be shining straight to the side here. You'll get more engagement in the right hip, right? But make sure the right knee stays over the ankle. So you think about the inner thighs kind of rotating up and back in both legs to open up the hips. All right, you can either take your hands to the top of the thighs, grab onto them and rotate them back, give yourself that sensation. All right, and then arms parallel to the ground. Your feet should be just as wide as your hands when your hands are outstretched here. All right, bending into that front knee, reaching through the fingertips. Your weight is still directly in between both feet here. Let's inhale, turn the front palm up to face ceiling. Exhale, reverse. Reach up and back. Notice the lower body stays exactly the same. Reaching up so your right hip is pulling down. Your right hand is reaching up and back. Good, and then inhale, we'll cartwheel these hands all the way forward down to the mat. Step back into your high plank. And lower down through your chaturanga, bending into the elbows. Inhale, upward facing. Good, exhale to your downward facing. Very good, we'll go for the other side. Inhale, the left leg up. Exhale, stepping in between the hands. We got high crescent here. All 10 toes forward. Allow the upper body to stack over the hips. All right, so as you get here, that back heel is lifted over the toes, a straight back leg, but make sure you're bending deep into the front knee. Hips, chest squared off to the front. Arms can lift overhead, keep the rib cage pulling into the center line. The arms pulling back and up. Nice. Good, bending a little deeper into that front knee. Take another breath in, reach up higher. As you exhale, twist. Left arm back, right arm forward, twisting up and open. All right, left arm pulling back, right arm pulling forward, reaching, wringing out the core. And then inhale, bring it through center. Exhale to your warrior two. That back heel turns down on the mat. Back foot parallel to the back edge. Front toes pointing straight forward. Keep the knee in line with the second and third toe. Good. Nice wide stance. Arms reach. Feet are underneath the hands. Arms parallel to the ground. Chest squared off to the side. Right? Those inner thighs pulling up and back. And externally rotating. Tailbone tucking slightly under, decompressing the lower back. Let's inhale, turn the front palm up to face ceiling. Exhale, reverse, reach up and back. Good, inhale, we'll cartwheel the hands forward and down to the mat. Step it back to your high plank. All right, lower down through your chaturanga, bending into the elbows. Good, inhale, upward facing. And then exhale to your downward facing. Good. Let's inhale, bend through those knees, look to the front, step it forward into your fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale to fold. Let's inhale all the way up, hands overhead, reaching tall. And then we'll exhale, bring our hands down by your side. Let's bring the feet back close together again. Coming into our chair pose, give you a different view of it here. And we'll add on a little more. So as you inhale, bend into the knees, press the hips back, reach the arms up and overhead. Arms are nice and straight, palms face toward one another. Point the fingers away from you, right? Engaging the whole hand here. So we don't have just kind of limp hands, but straighten out the fingers, straighten out the hands. Good, sit down a little lower, and then take your hands to heart center. All right, so pressing the palms together, the thumb to your chest. The forearms parallel to the ground. We're going to take it into a twist. Take your left elbow to the top of the right thigh here. Right, forearms still stay stacked. Those forearms as close as stacked over top of one another as you can. Maybe bend a little deeper and try to twist over to the right, pressing the right hand down into the left. With each breath, think about the spine lengthening. As you exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bring it back through center. Bring those arms overhead. We're doing the same on the other side. Exhale, back to heart center. Thumbs to the chest. Twist to the left. Your right elbow to the top of that left thigh. Right hands stacked on top of one another. Forearms stacked. Sitting a little lower. With your inhales, lengthening the spine. With your exhales, twisting a little deeper. Keep your tailbone pulling back behind you, the crown of the head pulling forward. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bring it back through center, and then exhale, straighten the legs and fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back to your high plank. Lower down through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale to your downward facing. Nice, very good here. Let's inhale the right leg up. As you exhale, right knee, right elbow shifting forward through your high plank. And then inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, let's go knee to nose. Inhale, extend. And then exhale, knee opposite elbow. Right, let those shoulders come over the wrists. And then inhale, extend it back. Let's exhale, step it into our high crescent again. All 10 toes pointed forward. Raise up, arms come overhead. All right, sinking into the front knee, keep the back leg straight. As we exhale, come into our twist. Maybe this time a little deeper. Bring that right hand down to the left thigh. The left hand comes up and overhead. All right, keep that bend in the front knee. Keep the back leg nice and straight. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. As we exhale, warrior 2. Turning the back heel down. We've been here before, so set up a nice strong base. Cool, let's inhale, turn the front palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, reverse, reach up and back. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center. Side angle pose. Bring the right forearm to the top of the right thigh. Left arm reaching straight overhead. So our side angle. Some of you might be bringing this right hand all the way down to the ground. That's all right. Some of you will keep that forearm on top of the thigh. Reach that left hand straight forward and overhead, bicep framing the ear. If that's uncomfortable, you can keep the hand straight up. But if you want more of that stretch, try to reach and keep the arm straight. All right, so it's a nice straight line through the left side of your body. So I'll notice a lot of times people will come down deeper into this posture, or they'll think they are. Bring this hand down, but then you see this left hip kind of press back behind them. You want to really bend deep into that front knee if that hand is down, so you keep a straight line through that whole left side of the body. Take one more deep breath in here. Good, and then as you inhale, reach up through your warrior 2. We're going to straighten this front leg. Maybe that back foot inches in just a few inches here. Preparing for our triangle. I like a slightly narrower stance in our triangle than our side angle or warrior 2. But so with our front leg straight, toes pointed forward, let's exhale to reverse. So we're reversing triangle, stretching through that whole right side of the body here. Right, shoulders stay stacked, so it's not a back bend, but our shoulders are stacked. We're reaching. Good, inhale, bring it back through center. Our right hand is going to reach further forward here. So we're trying to keep this parallel lines on the sides of our body. As we press that hip maybe a little further back behind you, reach a little further through that hand, and then we'll bring that right hand down to the inside of the shin, the left arm up. So we're trying to keep parallel lines in the sides of our body as much as we can. These obliques are engaged. You'll feel some stretch and some strengthening in the right hamstring. Shoulders stay pulled back and down so the shoulder blades squeeze together. Arms are in your straight line. For 3, 2, and 1. Rise back up through center. Keep the same foot position. Maybe shake out those hips a little here. We're going to go for a revolve triangle. So same idea where we're going to try to extend through the spine, but we're going to bring our left hand down to our shin, the floor, a block, a chair, whatever you might have. So we're going to reach forward here. So still reach with the right hand. Then we're going to bring that left hand and rotate through the body. Just like we twisted in our crescent lunge, we're going to rotate through the body. That left hand comes maybe to the shin, the right arm tries to lift. All right, maybe this hand comes to the floor inside the foot or outside the foot, wherever you are, twisting through the spine. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring that right hand back down to the mat. Wide leg forward fold. Pivot on the feet here. Hands come down in the center. Right, maybe those feet become a little wider. Allow the upper body to hang loose here through the mid, the upper back, the neck, the shoulders. All right, maybe a little sway side to side. Good, and then inhale, come up halfway, so flatten out the back. Let's walk the hands towards the front, all 10 toes face the front. Let's make our side plank from here. Roll to the outside edge of that left foot. The right foot goes back to meet it. Right? Maybe those hips stay lifted. Maybe that left knee comes down for some support. All right? Maybe this right leg lifts. Wherever you are. For 3, 2, and 1. Right hand down, high plank. Bend through the elbows, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Good. Exhale to your downward facing. Beautiful. We have the other side to get through. Inhale the left leg up. We'll take our core progressions. Exhale the left knee to the left elbow. Shifting forward. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose, rounding the spine. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee opposite elbow. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, step it in between the hands. High crescent lunge. Stacking the spine over the hips. Right, adjusting the feet, getting proper distance so you can be on the ball of the back foot, the heel nice high and lifted, sinking into that front knee over the ankle. Hips are squared off, arms come overhead. Good, let's exhale and twist. Opening the arms, reaching. Maybe the left hand to the back of the right thigh, right hand up and overhead. Keep the right leg nice and straight, active quad. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, bring it back through center. Exhale to your warrior 2. All right, we'll inhale, turn that front palm up, face ceiling. Exhale to reverse. Good, and then inhale, bring it back through center, side angle to start. Left forearm to the left thigh, right arm, reach it straight overhead. Take a look at the hip and your ankle. Make sure this is in a nice straight line. You'll be able to see if you're back here, this isn't going to work as you bend down. Make a nice straight line. Sink the hip closer to the floor, bending deeper into that front knee, widening the stance if you have to so that this knee doesn't go towards the toes. Palm faces down if you're reaching overhead. Good. And we'll hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Come back up through center. We'll straighten that front leg. You can shorten the stance just a little bit here. Right front toes still pointed forward, back heel perpendicular, back edge of the foot perpendicular to the ground. Let's reach the left arm up and back, triangle. Good. Inhale, bring it through center. Trying to keep these lines of the sides of your body as parallel as possible. So your right obliques are engaged. Reaching forward, the left hand to the inside of the shin. The right arm reaches up. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together behind you so the arms and the shoulders are pulling into the sockets. That right arm reaches straight up. For 3, 2, and 1. Rise back up through center. Again, maybe shake out those hips a little bit here. Revolved triangle next. So setting up in the same way. Think about that length in the side bodies. Reach the left arm forward. Good, and then take that backhand though and revolve it down to either the shin or maybe the ground as the shoulders try to stack. Good. Nice, holding for 3, for 2, and 1. Bring the left hand back to the ground, walk them over, wide leg forward fold, all 10 toes face the edge of your mat, your feet are parallel to one another. Good, hands down through center and then walk them over to the right. Try to grab the outside of the calf or the ankle, pulling over to that right side. And then walking back through center, same thing. Reach over to the left foot, grab to the outside of the ankle or the calf, twisting. All right, one more time each side. Walk them over to the right. Good, walk it back over to the left. Nice, bringing it back through center. Let yourself hang here, reset. The upper body becomes nice and loose. And then walk the hands over to the front. All 10 toes face the front. The right hand is going to plant down in the ground directly under the shoulder. Roll to the outside edge of that right foot. Step your left foot back. So we're in our side plank. Of course, option lowering that right knee if it's a little too challenging. Just make sure the wrists, shoulders are stacked. This left side of your body is in a nice straight line. Maybe that left leg lifts. We can hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down to the floor, high plank. Lower it down through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Good. All right, so let's inhale to bend through the knees. Look to the front of the mat. Walk the feet through the hands. We're going to come into a seated position. So seated with the legs just straight out in front, staff pose. We're going to flex the toes towards the body. All right, toes flex to the body so you feel this tibia muscle on the front side of your shin engage. I want you to press the backs of your knees down into the mat so you feel your quadricep muscles engage on the top of the thigh. So the legs are nice and active, and then sit up as tall as you can. If this is really difficult to sit with a straight back, maybe put something under your hips to lift the hips. You can even just sit with your arms posted back behind you, but try to use the core and integrity of the and the muscles on each side of the spine, keeping the integrity of the spine to nice and straight. So if this is difficult to just sit here, please just sit here and try to strengthen those aspects of your body. If you do have the flexibility to fold forward and that feels good for you, we can reach the hands down the feet towards the feet or the shins. But I want you to try to keep the back as straight as you can. So we'll take 3 breaths with a nice straight back wherever you're reaching. For 3, 2, and 1. And then either stay here or you can walk those hands further down towards the feet and allowing the spine to round. So this is more of a stretch perhaps for the lower and mid back as the spine rounds. You may still feel it in the hamstrings as well. That's good too. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come back up through center. And we're going to maybe shift a little further forward on the mat or lowering down onto our backs. Try to do this as controlled as you can, engaging the core. So maybe start by holding on to the front of the knees. Engage that front of the core as you slowly roll down. The fingertips will reach forward. Try to lower 1 vertebra at a time, slowly coming all the way down. Once you get here, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe rock a little from side to side. Nice, and then lowering the feet down to the ground. Feet are about hips width apart, and knees are right over the ankles. Right, preparing for your bridge pose. So the feet should be close enough to the body where you can touch your heels with your fingertips. We'll press through the heels to lift the hips up nice and high. Good. Hands can stay by your side. Maybe interlacing them underneath the lower back. Wherever you are, keep the hips lifting as high as you can, driving through the heels. For another 3, 2, and 1. We'll take the hands straight overhead, keep the hips lifted, come onto the balls of the feet, tuck the tailbone under to start to round the spine as you lower down one vertebra at a time. Hips last to come down here. We'll let these knees fall from side to side. Good, and then let the knees fall over to the right side. All right, we'll just take a supine twist. All right, so you might just let these knees stack over top of one another. In line with the hip, getting a nice twist through the body, left shoulder stays down. Or you might have a different variation of your supine twist that feels good. Take 3 deep breaths here. Cool, inhale, bring them back through center, and we'll let them fall over to the opposite side. So again, knees stack. They're about in line with the hips. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, wherever you are. Shoulder stays flat on the ground. Maybe that left hand's to the top of the right knee, just helping to draw it a little further down. We'll take 3 breaths here. Cool, inhale, bring it back through center. We can hug the knees back into the chest. So then taking a happy baby pose, grabbing the outside edge of the feet, and drawing the knees down towards the floor outside the chest. But try to keep your tailbone as flat on the mat as you can. So when I say tailbone, this kind of flat bony part at the base of your spine, try to keep that drawing down to the ground. If you can't, hold the bottom of your feet, keeping it flat, and maybe you feel like you're more kind of on your back trying to pull it down, you can release that grip, grab maybe the backs of your calves, or even just hug in the thighs here and allow the tailbone to be flat on the ground. All right, lengthening the spine, still getting that stretch through the hips wherever you are. For 3 more breaths, maybe rocking a little side to side. Good, and then take the soles of the feet together, allow the feet to drop down to the mat, knees can stay wide here. You can take a hand to the stomach, hand to the chest. Nice, feeling the rhythm of your heartbeat. Feeling your breath flow through the body. Good. Feeling grateful for what your body has and what your body can do for you. All right, from here, extending the legs straight out. Maybe the arms fall by your side. The shoulder blades walk under the back. We'll pause here in our Savasana. Right, breathing. Just focusing on the breath and any other sensations in the body. But allowing the mind to stay here, focused in the present moment. Right, if you notice it wandering, just gently bring it back to the breath. And then on your next inhale, start to bring some movement and life through the hands and the feet. All right, reach the arms straight overhead, lengthen out, full body stretch, reaching through the fingertips, pointing through the toes. Drawing the knees towards the chest, roll onto your favorite side, pausing for a couple breaths here, reawaking the body, bringing it back into your day. Cool, and as you feel ready, use your hands to press back to a seated position. All right, legs crossed. Allow the shoulders to relax down the back. All right, maybe drawing hands to prayer position at the middle of the forehead. All right, the light in me honors and respects the light in all of you. Namaste. Oh, very good job. Well done. Thank you for joining me for practice today.
Thank you for watching Kula Wellness on YouTube. Please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button below.